Hey, welcome to the 8 in the Box podcast, where we talk football, amongst some other things. Now, because we're in championship week, we're here. It's 2 games. That's all we got. But you think we're only going to talk about those 2 games? No, we're not. I am Dave Sharapan, the Sportsbook Consigliere at SportsBK Consig on the Twitter. And with me today, as always, my quarterback. He's not Josh Allen. No, he's not Patrick Mahomes. No, he's not even Joe Burrow. Joe Cool. No, he's better than that. He's B. Howe, Brad Howe. You find him, Brad Howe 07 on the Twitter. B. Howe, what's up, man? I mean, do you believe those football games we had this past weekend?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening. Not only do I not believe those football games, I'm kind of surprised we're having a show. I thought that was just a wrap. Like the NFL should close it up. We should close it up. It gets no better than last Saturday and Sunday. We were texting back and forth on Sunday going into that last game, which was the most anticipated game. All right, Bills, Chiefs here. There is no way that thing's going to live up to the 3 walk-off games we had seen previous. There's no chance this is going to be a blowout one. What's happening here? What is happening here? It ends up being the best game. What a remarkable weekend of football. Just awesome.
Incredible stuff. And as we look at the games going forward, we'll look back a little bit and kind of recant what we saw and what was going on. I mean, I was watching lines. I was watching games. I was trying to keep track of it all. It was incredible. Well, you talk about not having a show. We almost didn't have a show today. I mean, thanks to the work of our producer, Dan Alexander at Newbie Talks on the Twitter, who last Sunday, people, I don't know if you saw it, but follow him on Twitter alone just for the pictures of the food. What the boy does. Did you see that food on Sunday? Oh,
strong.
Newbie, have you recovered not from the football, from the meal that you prepared on Sunday?
Well, I thought I had some buddies coming over. Happy to be here as always, guys. But I thought I had some buddies coming over. They all flaked. There was some snow and whatnot in the forecast. So I have about 7 pounds of smoked pork left. If you guys want me to send anything your way, I think I'm going to throw down some chili today. But I love doing it almost as much as I love producing 8 in the box.
Oh, well, he's here. Thank goodness he's here, because we're gonna do the show right now. Again, follow along wherever you get podcasts, audio wise, or follow on the Cash Considerations Podcast YouTube channel, where you can see the show, cut the clips. There's all kind of things happening. We again thank you for watching the show. B. Howe, you want to just go in order of the football games? I mean, like, how do you pick which game to talk about first?
We'll go in chronological order. We'll take Cincinnati and KC first, since that comes up first. By the way, quick point of note, let's just do a production meeting on the air. I'm sure the people will love this. Yes. For Super Bowl Sunday episode, we probably have to some sort of best side dish, best appetizer from Newbie.
Done.
He's got to pick one and kind of tell we got to prepare. There's got to be a little food in the Super Bowl show, I think.
Without a doubt. Done. We're already working on that as we speak.
Oh, very good. Okay, good. Here we go.
I mean, not the cooking, the meeting. That was good.
Yeah. The menu. Okay, got it. All right, let's roll. Back to the football. Cincinnati and Kansas City.
Yep.
I don't even know why Cincinnati shows up. There's no chance. They cannot win. Nope. They shouldn't even be here. They got their first road playoff victory in program history. They cannot win. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Hill's back. Kelsey's back. It's in Arrowhead. 7 points on the move. You can't get there. Total 54.5. So start there.
All right. So pretty simple, right? We got to 7 pretty quick. Any book that opened 6.5 got to 7. We're sitting there. We're waiting. The total is the question. The total is the story more than the side right now. 54.5. It's already up to 55. The speed limit game. The speed limit game was Buffalo, Kansas City Sunday night. 55. Bad guys played it under right away, because you can't have a total that high. Then you watch the games and you realize, we got interference calls. We got unbelievable quarterbacks. We got guys running wide open. Tyreek Hill runs faster than any human being on a football field. His legs just keep going. It looks like a cartoon character. And he gets to the end zone on plays he ain't supposed to get 10 yards on. So, I mean, you see these numbers. You saw the games. Your first thought when you saw 7 and 54.5. First thought.
Chiefs under.
You thought under?
Well, I was wrong last week. Remember, I went highest total of the week, tried to apply our college trend to our pro trend. You're right. But okay, so here's my questions. I mean, you raised a great point. Here's my questions, though. That didn't get over. Now, I know this is ridiculous what I'm about to say because there were 25 points in the final 2 minutes, but that was close, right? That was getting close down the stretch there and then sailed way over. So if you just look at the box, you're like, what are you clowns talking about? It was way over. But it was down to the final 2 minutes, number one. Number two, part of me says, okay, Chase, Higgins, Boyd, Joey Burrow, Chiefs defense. I mean, they're going to score some points. But then I look at what they've done. There's been times when Cincinnati doesn't score a ton of points. They had a lot of turnover luck last week against Tennessee.
Yeah.
So is over the right play? I mean, are we going to go over 55 again? And I will also say this. Here's my last point, and you can take this with total and the side here. I was wrong about Buffalo last week. I said there is not a chance they can come in and play back-to-back perfect games. Right. That's why I liked the Chiefs last week.
Right.
Well, lo and behold, Bills almost played a perfect game. They were tremendous again. All right. So two parts to this. Can the Chiefs play another game at a super high level? Number one. And number two, the Chiefs had to play at a high level because the Bills came in there and played so great to get out of there. Are the Bengals going to come in and do what the Bills did? And the Bills lost, Dave. They couldn't have done much else. Historical performance from Gabriel Davis. Franchise performance from Josh Allen. They were right there, and they lost. What's Cincinnati got to do to get a win in this game?
Right. That's the scary part. That is the absolute scary part about taking Cincinnati is Buffalo did all that and lost. So how do we take 7 here? How are they going to win? They can't win, can they? The game has to obviously be a little bit different. We're never going to get a game like that again. We can't. But we just saw round 1 of this in Cincinnati on January 2nd. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. And it was 34-31, final score. Cincinnati wins. They traded scores. Kansas City got out to a big lead. Cincinnati fought through that adversity, came back, won the game. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times. His uniform number's 9. I love the number 9. That was my number as well. But he got sacked 9 times, and they won the game. I think they're live to cover the spread. Can they play a perfect game and lose? Of course. Buffalo just did. But for me, I mean, how does Kansas City lose this game? I'm trying to decide who's the better story for us for content, who's the better story for the books for more interest and handle. I can't decide. I still haven't decided what the actual play is sidewise, and there may not be a play. Everybody's got a case for somebody. You know, today I like Cincinnati. Tomorrow I might like Kansas City. I cannot decide. But I like over. I'm going over again. I think, though, when you really look at this, both teams' path to victory can be the under as well as the over. And I don't normally say that. Usually one side, like last week, which we'll get to, San Francisco and Green Bay. I didn't see San Francisco winning a shootout with Green Bay, but they could win the game if it went under. They did. This week with this game, I think this will be a tremendous in-game betting type game where we'll have some lead changes. Not like 4 of them in the last 2 minutes like we just saw. That was incredible. But prop-wise, when you think of this game, are you looking just Chiefs? Or are you looking that maybe there might be some – I mean, Cincinnati's got a roll call guys between Burrow, obviously, Mixon, Boyd, and obviously Chase. Like, I mean, this is a dream. You got really good games, at least this one, with a roster of players you can fire on.
You do. Here's my concern on the Chiefs side of things. You know, I don't like to go under on a lot of these receiving props, but I think, I mean, and listen, I don't know that I want to be under. Well, I don't know that I want to be under on a lot of Tyreek Hill or Kelsey situations, but you tell me, you're going to get inflated lines on their numbers after what they just did. And I'll give you one coming up a little bit later in the show that I look at and say, oh my God, can I take an under on this? It's right in my wheelhouse. We might have to take a Hill under. I'm going to give you the numbers, but you're going to get inflated lines on the Chiefs in particular, right?
Yes. So it was funny. I was met up with some guys on Sunday at the book who were in from out of town. very sharp guys. And I said, how'd you guys do this weekend? How was the weekend? They're like, oh, Saturday was a dream. Both games went under, all the negative results, everything prop wise went under. And I said, how about Sunday? And they said, that's why we're going drinking right now. We didn't win a bet. We didn't win one bet. Like the Buffalo Kansas City game, none of them. They had under and all these different things. It didn't win anything. So for you to even think about an under, I'm impressed. I can't wait to get to that.
We'll get to that. All right, let me ask you one more thing before we move on to the second game, because I want to do this for each game and then both games combined.
Yep.
If I said to you, you've got to play a same game teaser for Cincinnati and Kansas City, are you going Bengals up? You going Chiefs down? And then I assume you're going to tell me, since you like the over, you're going to take the total down and play it over. But what side would you pair with that?
I would do both. I would actually. I'm good with both sides. At 7. If we can do a 7-point teaser and I can get Cincinnati plus 14, I'm good. And if I could take Kansas City to pick, I'm good. Of the two right now, as we're recording this on Wednesday morning, January 26th, I would say I feel a little better about the points. I just think
you'd go Bengals.
Yeah, 14's a ton. This is. I don't think.
What if I only do a 6-point teaser, keep my juice on DraftKings at 120, and only get to 13, so I don't get the 2 full touchdowns?
Yeah, that makes it a little more interesting. And now all I need is Kansas City to win.
Right.
By
one.
Case. Yeah. And because really, what is Kansas City's back? Like all this, we're not.
We said that last week, and they feel back, right? I mean, that was the old Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah, they're back. Like Mahomes is doing his thing. The offensive line is giving him enough time, and he's running. Like his prop running has been priced wrong for weeks because for halfway through the season, he wasn't running and he was getting hit. He was obviously hurt a little bit. Now he's getting over his rushing prop on one rush.
It was early last week. I was on that last week. That was an easy cash.
Yeah, it's an easy cash and it's early. So him being able to run the ball has changed a whole dynamic of like, oh, we'll sit back and we'll play coverage and we'll make him have to pick. He's like, okay, rush 3 or 4. I'm taking off. And then it all changes. So Kansas City -1 is very appealing. I mean, how do they lose this game? That's to be a huge upset. I just think the total down and going over, the thing could get to 60. It could get to 60. As hard as that is to say, both teams score in the 30s, 38, 31. It goes over and you're left holding a great number, 60 under loser. So I'd rather go down and just have to get the game in the 50s and win.
Yeah, I'm with you. This might be a big teaser weekend over here in the Howe household. This might be big. This might be big. All right, we might tease each game. We might combine them. Let's go. We only have a couple games left, Dave. We got to fire on some stuff.
You got to do what you got to do.
We only have a couple games. Got to do what you got to do. Please play responsibly, by the way. Please play responsibly. Okay, San Francisco, LA. Niners, 3.5-point dogs. Oh, we got wardrobe changes during the show. Wardrobe changes during the show. Staying with the
old school Niners, right there.
Niners, you do have some sweet Rams gear, though. I do like their gear.
Oh, all right. I'll get that.
All right, let's walk through this. 3.5 total. What, 46 as we record right now?
Yeah. So the total's all over the place a little bit here. It's 46, 46.5. There's no more 47s left, so we'll call it 46.5 consensus.
Walk me through here because I need you to build me a case for the Rams. I mean, the Niners have dominated this series. We know Shanahan's dominated McVay. Style of play. San Francisco can run it on LA. Their defense has been fantastic. The Niners. They have handled this LA offense. They've not allowed LA to run on them. Then flip the other side offensively. They've neutralized Aaron Donald. I got some numbers here I'll throw at you that are amazing from Pro Football Focus. I mean, build me the Rams case here. Now, I love my Cooper Kupp, and we're going to get into some Kupp props. I'm not going away from Cooper Kupp props, but build me the Rams case here. I feel like I want to just go Niners, and some more Niners here. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. Initially, anyone that had 4 on this got gobbled up immediately, and now it's 3.5. And the places that are 3.5 have tilted, some juice towards having to lay 120 with the Niners. And that meant you could lay 3.5 even money with the Rams. And now I just clicked refresh, and that has been done. So we're sitting 3.5 flat is pretty much the consensus line across all books all over the world, including the offshores. The case for the Rams is this. Their offense, Stafford, they won a game that they basically were giving away. They were up 20-3 right before halftime. Akers fumbles at the goal line. It's ruled a fumble. Lucky for the Rams that it wasn't played out, because I think that's a scoop and score 99 yards. And instead of 20-3 at halftime, it's 20-10. And the Buccaneers probably have momentum and come back and win. Instead, they hold on. Zero blitz by Tampa. Cooper Kupp runs past everybody, catches the ball. They kick a game-winning field goal. Other than that, I mean, the Rams defense, very good. The Niners defense, nasty. Like they just went on the road and held Aaron Rodgers to other than an opening drive touchdown, which I don't know. There got to be some site that we could figure out why people can do stuff on the opening drive and then can't do nothing else the whole game. I don't know how these guys have it scripted so good only on the opening drive and then can't do anything. The ability for teams to adjust to not allow that to happen again ever still amazes me.
Yeah,
but
you see that in college a lot too, Dave. You see it in college where the
scripted
drive. Yeah, the scripted plays work so well. The defense is off balance. You're doing things that don't show up in your tendencies, and you're executing. And then you're dealing with guys with a lot of data that have seen a lot of football and are really smart. And then they make adjustments after they've seen what you're doing. You know who's handling who in the trenches. So you do see that a lot. But that was surprising given it was Aaron Rodgers that then didn't do anything. Now, I know the weather was brutal, but the weather's always brutal in Green Bay and they can score. So I love the Niners here, Dave. I mean, and at some point, maybe I'm going to be wrong. Maybe I'm going to keep doing this for a couple more shows and be completely wrong. But when does Stafford throw the pick that makes you go, yep, there it is.
Well,
yep, there it is. Although he hasn't, but down the stretch, he was. A lot of pick six, multiple interceptions over the last 4 weeks. He has not done it yet, but was last week against the Bucs a precursor to what's coming? Or are they just a team of destiny and they can overcome those mistakes? I think that's the question, right?
That is the question. And, I mean, the center did it this past week. The center snapped the ball 35 yards back behind Stafford while Stafford wasn't looking. Whoever's fault that was, we're not here to even worry about whose fault it was, but we saw it happen. I mean, you're not wrong in thinking the Niners are live. The line indicates that. It's 3.5. It's 3.5, basically. I mean, I'm surprised. I thought it would be 3. You know, when it was talking before, you have to consider, what was it, the last week of the season, the regular season? The Niners had to win. Yeah. They were at the Rams. It was 17-0, and they were done. And Stafford threw that pick, brought them back into the game. They drive down, scored a tying touchdown at the end of the game, and then win the game in overtime. This is an evenly matched game. So to take the points, and I think books are kind of, you know, you don't want to get on that 3 so early. And there's only one game left after this week. So the more action you can create, the better. So put it over 3, see what they do with it. So far, we got to 3.5, at least even money, got the Rams money. The total, B-Howe. The total. I mean, both of these defenses are amazing. Jimmy G wins games without throwing a touchdown pass. He's 9-2 or something in his last 11 without throwing a touchdown pass, including 3-0 in the playoffs, winning the games. Is this an under? And should I even think about betting both quarterbacks? I want to bet them both to throw a pick.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk you off of that. Here, to back up your under and just the defense or maybe the Niners side, let me give you some numbers from Pro Football Focus. I think this is pretty remarkable here. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Stay with me. Don't let your eyes glaze over. I know it's early for you when we record this, but bear with me here.
Let's go.
It'll get to a point. All right. The 49ers. I got all kinds of dings going off. Just hang in there with me.
No dings.
Okay,
I
Stafford.
can't hear
Stafford has been very good against the blitz. He's got
The best.
PFF's fourth highest grade against the blitz.
Okay.
And the Rams rank first in expected points added per play versus the blitz on the season. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've had trouble blitzing them. The Niners must have a subscription to Pro Football Focus.
They should.
Because otherwise, I don't know how they'd know that, but they must have a subscription. So they know this, and they blitz Stafford just 14% of the time combined in both games. So they just said, okay, listen, you're really good against the blitz. Fine. We're just not going to blitz you.
Right.
I don't know how Todd Bowles and the Bucks didn't know that, other than maybe their subscription ran out before the playoff game, because they blitzed him a season high 17 times in the one game last week, including that last play that we saw where there's a communication problem on the back end and somehow Cooper Kupp gets loose. You lose the game because you blitzed him.
Yeah.
So the Niners generally only rushed 4 guys, and they managed to get pressure on Stafford at a 41% rate. So they were abusing the Rams up front, getting to Stafford without blitzing. We're going to bring 4 guys. So what's that mean? You have more coverage on the back end. So that seems like you can replicate that again. That's what we try and look for in these rematches.
Right.
Can you replicate what you've done before in the next matchup? That would seem to me, yeah, it does. Or the Rams are going to have to adjust what they do to counteract that. That gives me advantage Niners, doesn't it?
Anytime you can get pressure rushing 4, I mean, you hear that all the time from very smart football people. That changes everything. You don't have to blitz. We can keep, 11 minus 4 is 7. High math for you people that need to do the high math. 7 people back in coverage. You can't rush. You can't put out 7 receivers. So now I can double guys. I can bracket guys. You hear all the football terms. And if we have any questions about that, Newbie's a football guy too, so he can help us with the football terms. Whether we double, high, low coverage, we bracket this guy, we do all these things. That sounds like a team that doesn't have to do anything they're not already doing, and they've not already done. So I like that, and they keep beating this team. The Niners keep finding a way. The Niners are that kid that just keeps showing up, that just will not go away. You're like, man, listen, you can't play. You go back. No, I'm coming. And he hangs around and hangs around and hangs around. And then at the end, he gets you because you just can't put him away. If the Rams don't put him away fast, the Niners are winning this football game. They're gonna win it. They're gonna spoil the home game for the Super Bowl team 2 years in a row after never happening forever. Tampa did it last year. The Rams are this close, 1 game away, and the Niners are going to ruin the whole thing.
All right, 2 more stats because I just think these are amazing. Now flip to the other side. Aaron Donald, if he's not the most dominant player in football, he's right up there, right? He's a difference maker.
Absolutely.
His pass rush grade against the Niners this year is just 61.8 on a scale of 0 to 100. 61.8. To put that in context, his rush grade against all other teams, pass rush grade, 93.
Whoa.
So the Niners have been able to neutralize Donald. So they're getting after Stafford, neutralizing the best player, running the football, but also throwing it. Last stat, and I promise we'll move on from numbers here.
Okay.
But Garoppolo is averaging 0.4 expected points added per pass play against the Rams. Okay, what's that mean? That's double of all other LA opponents this season.
Wait. Say that again.
Well, the number really doesn't even matter.
It's
Garoppolo's, double. Their expected points added on pass plays, the Niners, is double every other Rams opponent this year. They're killing LA down the middle of the field. So if you want to add a prop, we probably need to look for some George Kittle receiving props, don't we? They're killing them down the field. In 2 games, Garoppolo, 29 of 36 for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns over the middle of the field.
Whoa.
So now I've given you a pass rush advantage for the Niners, a passing advantage for the Niners, and a pass blocking advantage for the Niners. That's why I said earlier, build me the Rams here. Build me a Rams case. I'm having trouble getting there.
What do you think of this one? What do you think? What do you think, B-How?
Here's the Rams case. It's just the lid. That's all you need.
It's not even looking. It's not even looking. What do you look? Come on.
Hold on.
How about this one?
I like the other one better.
You like the Niners one better?
Well, no, I do like the Niners one better. I like your royal blue with the black Rams.
Oh, okay. I put that one.
That's a sharp lid. I like that one better than that one.
Okay. Well, we had to go.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Rams. Go ahead, Sean McVay. Thank you. Welcome to the program. Go ahead.
I can't do it. I can't do it. We're going to outscore this team. We're going to outscore. Like, if the Rams win, this game's going over. I think the Rams light them up, like outscore them. If the Rams play that, what's that word that Keith Jackson used to use? Slobber knocker. If this is a slobber knocker, tight game, just like it was last week in Green Bay, but without the weather. If it's just a physical, nasty game. Now, the case for the Rams also has to begin with the health of the Niners. How many guys limped off of that field up in Lambeau last week? A bunch. I saw Kittle limping off. I saw Deebo Samuel hopping off the field.
Yeah.
Didn't see too much of that down in Tampa. Those guys are healthy. The Rams are the healthiest that they have been all season right now. And I mean, I say it all the time on all these other shows that I do. I say it on a game within the game with you. And like, a lot of times you got to just bet these streaks. Like, and what are you going to feel better about? Are you going to feel better about you take the side here and go with the Niners and they finally get beat by the Rams and light them up and the Rams win by 10 and you go, well, I stuck with the Niners. Okay. Or are you going to lay the points with the Rams and go, I knew they were going to win. I should have taken them. They beat them so many times before. I got all the numbers, the PFF, the expected points, this, that, whatever. And I bet the Rams. What am I doing? Like, which one feels better?
Yeah, no, well, you know what I'm going to say to you. Now, personally, I'm holding my 19-1 Rams to win the NFC. So I probably have to put, Niners. I'm sorry, Niners to win the NFC. 19-1 Niners. So I'll do a little Rams money line just to cover myself. But
that's all.
If I was just straight up with holding nothing, this is Niners to me.
So you have now, because you have 19-1. Okay, you want to talk about a math problem? You could look at alternative spreads, and you could take the Rams plus 3.5 and lay 250. You could take the Rams plus 7.5 if you wanted and lay a bigger number. I mean, you're getting 19-1. So as long as you're laying less than 10-1, you're still making money. And I mean, you're cutting into your profit.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't get too many shots at 19-1 and you got the dog. So now you could go for the middle. Now you got to pay for it, but I've seen guys do this. I've done this myself. And a lot of times, you hear, oh, you can't lay the juice. You can't this, you can't that. I can, because, I'll shop around and get the best price. If it wins, it wins. So if you think that San Francisco is going to win a close game, you can take that alternate spread and hit a middle.
That's
going into the Super Bowl. So, I don't know, plus 4.5 may not be too much of a price, but I mean, if the money line right now is, let's see, the money line, pretty standard operating procedure right now, Rams minus 180. Some books have 185. And, the Super Bowl is the tightest money line of the entire year because people like to bet the favorite on the points, but they bet the dog on the money line. So the money line gets shorter. It's a bargain on the favorite. This is kind of happening with these games as well, although not with the Kansas City game, but with this game. You have that option to take 3.5 and, alternate spread and lay, like I said, probably 250, something like that, maybe. And now you can bang out a middle. Just keep it in mind.
I like it.
We'll come to some sort of understanding of it by the time the weekend comes.
Very good. I like it. All right. Last stat on this game, and then we'll move on to a couple props here. This is from the Ringer. So before you hear it
all over the place, man. You really, you see you get down in the weeds, but like you really doing that Army crawl getting down there.
Well, credit all these people. There's some people that come out with some great numbers for you. You might as well take advantage of them and try and use them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The FF, the Ringer. Here's the one from the Ringer because this is good. Because this is the narrative we'll hear all week. Can't beat a good team 3 times in one season.
Here we
Can't
go.
beat it. You can't do it.
Can't
right?
do it.
That's a cliche for 150 years. Can't beat a good team 3 times.
Doesn't happen, right?
The Ringer says this. Since 2002, there have been 8 third game rematches in the playoffs where one team went 2-0 in the regular season, which is what we're sitting on, right? San Francisco 2-0 in the regular season. In the playoffs, those teams that have won 2 games already are 5-3 straight up since 2002. So they've
winning
hit
record
5 out of 8 games, winning record straight up.
62% for the match.
And that's the dog in this game.
That's the dog.
That's the dog in this one.
Okay, so you hear that, and as someone who's obviously into the betting but isn't, the math wizard from MIT and everything else, do you want the money line or do you want the points?
Well, you do both, right? Take the point. I want the points, but sprinkle a little bit there. Like I totally
the book's giving you
unfazed.
3.5.
So why would you not take that at 110?
You got to take it at 110. You got to do it. Either do another unit on the bet on the money line or split the unit up, but you got to don't always dismiss the points because you think the team's going to win. I tell people that all the time. Spend a little extra and take the points when you can get them in a situation where you have the best of it. Take the points. It's fine. And then when they win, you go, oh, I should have bet more money. No, you shouldn't have. No, you shouldn't have. You're fine. Like, because when it loses or they cover, because it's going to happen. Has it happened yet this playoffs? No, it has not happened where the winner won and didn't cover the spread. The winner of the game has covered the spread. The dog either won outright or the favorite won and covered.
And that's the trend. We've talked about that each week in this show. The numbers are massive when you just pick the winner and you're covering the number here.
Yeah. So I think you're playing with fire if you don't do it. And people will. I mean, people watching the show and people, have been coming in the book for you saying, yeah, I don't want the points. I just want the money line. It pays more. Okay. That one time that it doesn't, and it might be this time. This is going to be a hell of a football game. I think both games are going to be great. But I'm cautiously optimistic because we got an unbelievable weekend last time, and I don't want to be selfish and go, well, they're going to do it again. But man, I hope they're just half as good. I'll settle for half as good.
Just be in the ballpark. Okay, real quick. I'm going to run through props quickly, but before I do, just go overall teaser. I gave you same game teaser in the first one. If I just said overall teaser, all sides and totals are open, your favorite play would be what?
Under in this game. I think I got to take San Francisco plus the points. If we could get this thing with a 7-point teaser, we get over 10. I don't think this is a double-digit margin. I think San Francisco covers. Plus even 9.5, I think is good, but it might fall 10. So I get a little nervous about that. So if you can do a 6.5-point teaser and get it to 10, do it. But I like teaser up and go down or go under. I mean,
in this game,
could you take it down and go over? Yes. There's no way in the world that game last week with the Rams was supposed to go over, and it did. So it might, but I think my favorite one is up and go under and Niners plus the points.
Would you go Chiefs down, Niners up if you were combining the two games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a good teaser.
Me too.
That's the one. Is that the one you're sniffing out right there? Is that the one you like?
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I just don't think you're getting enough value or points with the Rams. If you flip it, if you go through that 0, that's such a killer because you just waste those 2 points. You can do it, but now with a 3.5, so you're what plus 2.5.
You're wasting a lot of numbers, aren't you? I mean, you got the 2 coming into play. You got a 1, you got a 0, you got a 1 on the other side, 2 on the other. I mean, you're losing a lot of value.
The only way to do it with the Rams is you have to do a 7-point teaser, and those things are expensive. But I mean, you could do the Rams. I'd rather you just do maybe the Rams to win it all or something at a much bigger plus price. If you think they're going to win the game, then you're live at plus $2 there in a game that, I mean, kind of talked about it with somebody. Kansas City Rams might be a pick'em game depending on how they play out. It might be -1. So you're going to get plus 2 to 1 you'll be able to play off of that easy.
Props. I'm going to run you through just quickly here. Let's quick here. We're going to start with, well, first of all, let's recap. DraftKings gave us that one last week that was fun. It was all 4 receivers in the Cincinnati-Tennessee game. So we had, for the Titans, we had Brown and Julio. And for the Bengals, we had Chase and Higgins.
Oh, yeah.
All 4 to go over 50 yards receiving. And we said, what? 3 of them, it's almost a lock. Julio's the question. Some of it was game scripted. Tennessee was up. We said, is he going to get the opportunities? Well, that didn't happen. They had to throw it. It worked out perfect. The 3 cashed easy and early. Julio got there in the fourth quarter, plus 500. Thank you, DraftKings. We'll take it. So that was a fun one that kept you engaged the whole game. I like that one. I'll come back with one that's not as wide as that, but it's one we got to evaluate. First of all, Cooper Kupp. On our game within the game, we come to Cooper Kupp on longest reception. We've had great success with it, except the Monday night game when it was 29.5 and he got 29. Yeah. But we went right back to it Saturday. He hit it twice, not including the last play of the game, but he was already there before that.
Yeah, but the book got cute and put it at 27.5.
Yeah, didn't matter. 27.5, 28.5, 29.5. Yeah. It's all ball bearings these days. We'll take it. It's clear. So I asked you on Monday on the game within the game if they would move it back up. DraftKings has, but only a yard. It's back up to 28.5 minus 15 for 28.5 Cooper Kupp longest reception.
Wow.
Some numbers. He's over this in 15 of 19 games, including 7 of the last 8.
Man, oh man.
He's got longs of 29 and 46 against San Francisco already this year. Let's roll Cooper Kupp one more time, longest reception. I'm in. Why would you not be in?
Run it back. It's not even a debate.
Don't even debate. No, you don't even talk about 15 and 19. Both times against the Niners. Let's go. Now, my only concern would be the pass rush numbers I gave you earlier in the show, but we just need one of these. Just get me one.
Right.
So I'm in. Okay. Now, here's the other one, though. Here's the other one on Cooper Kupp that we always talk about. The line continues to sit on his receptions at 7.5. It just does not move. It's 7.5. I know I bring this up to you every time we talk. I'm incredulous. The thing doesn't move. He averages almost 8.5 catches a game. It sits at 7.5. Now the juice is moving again. It's pushed even further on the juice, minus 150. So it's juicy. But it just sits at 7.5. He keeps going over this. Now he had 18 combined.
Can we make the juice high enough to keep you off of it? Was there a bet if we go to 170? Do you be like, man, I just don't want to bet that?
It works. It's as the games get more important, are they going to go to him less? No. Are they going to be able to stop it? I mean, the Bucs knew they were going to throw it to Cooper Kupp, and he went bananas.
Yep.
Now, again, the pass rush stuff I gave you before, I have a little bit of a concern, but 7.5 minus 150, I know it's a lot of juice. Do I have to ride that again?
I think so. I'm not going to tell you no. I'm going to tell you, be careful with the price. The juice. Yeah. So it's a different model. It's a different mentality where they have these numbers and they're stubborn. It's 7.5. That's what it is. That's what I made it. And I know what the odds makers talking and saying, just move the juice. It's 7.5. Well, hey, he went over that number like every game this season, right? It's 7.5. That's what he averaged last year. That's what he averages. What if Stafford gets hurt? What if he doesn't throw? Blah blah blah. He went just move the number to 8. Just move it to 8. See what happens. Maybe somebody will bet under because nobody's betting under, and they just won't do it. So you go, okay. You're trying to juice you out. They're trying to tell you no, don't bet it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm probably in.
If it was 8, would you even think about not betting it?
Again, he averages more than that. He has 11 and 7. So he did go under this in one of the games against San Francisco, but it was right there. 21 targets in these 2 games. What's the game script that doesn't get Kupp the ball here? I don't see it. Even if they're all over Stafford all game and getting that pressure like we talked about.
It's success running the ball, right? It's the game. It's the game against Arizona. It's Akers running through the defense. And, every football coach would, if you can hand the ball off to the running back and get 7 yards a clip and then continue to move them and not have to throw the ball, they would all sign for that. That keeps the clock moving. That keeps us leading the game. We're good. That's the only game script that keeps Cooper Kupp from getting 7.5 over receptions. It's the only one. And the Niners aren't going to let him run the ball.
Oh, so then let's just move right on, because you mentioned the Rams running the ball. So let's look at Cam Akers. Let's look at Cam Akers running the football. Walk me through the mindset here in the book, okay? It's on the move up, his rushing total. We're now at 61. This is on DraftKings. I'm using DraftKings lines here. It's 61 rushing yards over under on this. But here's some PFF numbers. You ready for this?
Yep.
The Niners have allowed just one running back to rush for over 47 yards since week 10.
47? That's it?
Only one since week 10. And they've played a lot of big games since then. They held Sonny Michel to 43 yards on 21 attempts in week 18. They have Pro Football Focus's 6th highest grade run defense. Now, Akers is averaging just 2.5 yards per carry in the postseason. Now, he's back off that injury, so it's a small sample size for him. But he went for 55 yards in the wild card, 48 yards last week on 24 carries. So I would assume people are liking this based on the volume. 17 and 24 carries since he's come back, but he's not having the success going against a run defense that has been brutal to run against. 61 is the number. Do you like the over or the under on Cam Akers? Yeah, me too.
Under,
so let it keep rising, and then we just come back on the under, don't we?
Yeah, but you're thinking you're actually, what you're saying, I know some very sharp guys that are talking that through exactly like that. Sonny Michel, who's he? He's out. He ain't touching the ball. Obviously they don't trust him. But they like Akers, and what Akers did against the Cardinals. I mean, he got back on my radar. I was like, man, this guy's running hard. Like he delivers the blow, but he fumbled the ball.
So there's the other piece.
Touchdown.
There's the other piece, right?
Buccaneers,
right.
And coaches, as we're coaches, I mean, you remember that. You're like, hey man, I'm gonna get you back in the game, but like, if you fumble again, I got to go to the other guy. I got to split the carries and stuff. We just got to know, oh no, coach, I'm good. Okay. So he's going to get the first crack. But San Francisco, you just said the numbers indicate they don't give up rushing yards. I mean, they don't give up somebody giving 47. It's total 61. I think I understand the bet up. I'm good with letting them bet it up and needing the under as the book. And I really like the fact that you're actually looking at a prop under. You looking at a performance prop under has me even more excited because I'm an under guy, and that's good thinking. You just talked that through, and now I got to go check that after we get off on the show because I might hit that myself now, because I think as we get closer to the weekend, that's going to come back.
I agree, because I just look at, that's just pure numbers. I saw that thing rising because I liked it at 58 under. And then I looked at it again this morning before this. I went, oh my, it's up to 60. I mean, that's going the opposite way of where I'm going. I normally don't like that, but okay, I'm looking at these numbers. And you mentioned the fumble thing's going to put some doubt in there. I mean, I don't care who you are. The fumble thing puts some doubt. You got Sonny Michel right there, right? So hey, Cam, I mean, you can't be putting the ball on the turf. All right. So let's look at that one.
All right. When the numbers move in these props, just be wary of it. They move in bunches. You don't go from 58 to 59 to 60 to 61 on these rushing props. If somebody comes in, if you're taking a dime or a nickel, I mean, a nickel's 500, a dime is 1,000. I don't know what the limits are at certain books, but I know ours used to be a nickel until the game day, and then we raised them to a dime. If somebody gives you a limit play on Cam Akers rushing yards over 58.5, I would go right to 64.5. I would move rushing yards by 5 or 6 yards. So that's really one bet. So just so you know, and the people that are listening and watching the show, that's not a mountain of money. That's not public money. That's probably one really respected, sharp guy. Bam, you move the number. So when you just got to watch kind of creating a narrative for the way the book's doing stuff. That's probably the way they're actually doing.
I'm with you. And I get the over bet given the volume. So you're
Right.
thinking if he busts 1 or 2 for 10 or 12 yards, you're on your way with that kind of volume with 18, 19, 20 carries. So I get it.
Yep.
I think I'm going to take the under on that one. All right. 2 more real quick. And then I'll give you, I want to give you one little NHL nugget. So real quick on this. George Kittle receiving yards.
Yep.
That's on the move a little bit too, up to 50.5.
Okay.
That feels like a one I've got to dive more into, but that feels like a play given what I just gave you about Garoppolo attacking the middle, right? That's an over on Kittle.
Over. First thought, over. We'll dive into that more. Maybe put something on the Twitter, reach out to us, via DM or something like that. But I'm thinking over. That's a middle attack, tight end. He's had success against them in the past, right? Has he had a good game against them?
Well, 50 yards in one meeting.
Okay.
That's the only one he played in. He played in one meeting.
Oh, he didn't play in the
50
other one.
yards.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. No, he didn't. 5 receptions for 10 yards in the second meeting. So he got targets.
5 receptions for 10 yards?
That's a line you don't see you don't even see that line often. So he got 13 targets in 2 games, 10 catches in 2 games, 60 yards combined in 2 games. So the yards weren't there. Everything else was. Targets were.
Scary. We got to check more into that.
Look into that.
5 catches for 10 yards. How does somebody do that?
First instinct's over. Okay, here's one where I told you the Hill props get boosted up. Walk me through this. Hill, this is on DraftKings.
Yep.
Hill to catch a 50-yard or longer reception. So this is one of our long reception props, but they've really jacked it, like almost an alternate line. Plus 450. Plus 450 on Hill over 50. You just saw him race for what did he have last week? 64-yarder.
Yeah.
You just saw it, right? So some recency bias. You want any part of that before I give you numbers? Instinct. Nope. Okay.
Nope. I'd rather, that's asking a lot. A 50-yard reception, and it happens, but I don't want any part of it. Tell me,
your instinct's right. He's only had 2 of those all year.
Yeah. Come on.
Two of those all year. All right.
Price is $450. You better be giving me 10-1 minimum to even think about that.
I know. That's why I liked that promo last week with the 4 receivers. I like that better than
that was good. I like that one. I like that one way better.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, we can't be betting no prop for plus 450 where guys got to.
You got. I assume you've got. We can't see it, but you've just got hats lined up, right? Your whole room. There's just like hats.
Can you beside me and stuff? Like I just try to grab them. I had them set up. I knew we were doing the show. I was hoping we were doing the show. Thank goodness Newbie got us together to do the show. So
he did. So if I ask you, if I throw hockey here real quick, you can't just grab one of your hockey hats and put it on. It's not right by you.
Wait, let me see what I got here. Hold on.
Because you might as well go for 3 wardrobe changes during the show. You've already done 2. You've covered each football game. I was going to give you 1 first period goal scored stat that you might like. Leave the folks with 1 hockey stat.
Howe, while he goes for the wardrobe change, I'll throw something at you real quick. A prop that I love, Joe Mixon, over 25.5 receiving yards. He's gone over this number in 4 straight games. The way that the Bengals have kind of used Joe Mixon has completely changed. He's not a bell cow guy. He hasn't gone over 20 carries since, I believe, November. So he's become more of a receiver. I think that this game script doesn't really play to a grinded out kind of running attack. People think, they're going to keep Mahomes off the field. They're going to just run the ball with him. When I saw this number, I thought it was going to come in the 30s, and I like the over there. It came out this morning, recording on Wednesday morning at 25.5. Can you make a case for me there, B.L.?
Very good. So here's what I'd say here. That number is good. I like it better at 25.5. That's come down. Here's the only thing I worry about with that, Newbie, is he was one of the highest percentage of routes run per drop back last round. So he ran a route in 50% of Burrow's dropbacks last week. So there's got to be some regression coming there would be the only concern. But otherwise,
low number though. Minus 114, maybe worth the sprinkle. So that's my contribution to the prop talk there.
Very good.
Excellent.
Very good.
How'd I do? Look,
amazing.
Very good. That's pretty good. You didn't even know I was going to do that.
Throwback, and this one is like, for me as a Pittsburgh guy, this is almost like wearing a Ravens hat. This one even didn't really feel right.
Is that like real? Is there foam on the front of that? Is that one of the old school foam fronts or no?
No, this is
Okay.
all stitched. This is
Okay.
an unbelievable piece. Like the kids call them pieces now.
You just gave a piece.
When I
You
went
called
to
it a
meet the
piece.
guy, he said, "Look at this piece." I said,
Yeah.
"It's a hat." He goes,
Uh.
"No, bro, this is a piece. Look at this thing. This is an original 6." I said, "Just put it in a bag. That's fine. Let's go."
Kind of like art. I mean, you're just like, it's like art
I
on your
guess
head.
so. I listen. The kids like it. It looks good. Keeps my head warm too. Go ahead. What do you got?
All right, last thing, and then I'll get everybody out here. But I had to give you hockey. You're a hockey guy. Let me give you this one.
Hit me.
And this is, again, you talk about finding different sources. Here's a good hockey source for you. At PSU Auto on Twitter. At PSU Auto does an awesome job at compiling first period, second period, third period, goal in the first.
Penn State
10.
guy.
Yeah, PSU Auto.
Oh man.
Find it. Look at
you.
here.
All right.
The one. Here's the one to watch.
Yeah.
You're close. You're geographically close with your hat. Let's talk New Jersey Devils.
Wow.
Goal in the first 10 or 9.5, as some books are doing now, as you well know.
Right.
14-1 on the season. 14-1. And if I have this one right, I think it's 12 in a row.
Oh my God.
I think it's 12 in a row for Devils first 10. They hit it again last night. We hopped in and wrote it last night. Watch when the Devils come up again. It's probably an autoplay at this point. 14-1, goal first 10.
I love that.
There you go.
First period, first 10 has been a cash cow. Follow this guy on Twitter. Follow both of us on Twitter. There's a lot going on. Goals are coming early and often. Overs in general for hockey bettors have been fun. And even the teams that don't score goals, the games are going over because they're giving them up. So New Jersey Devils. All right, people, don't forget that. There's a lot of things going on in the show, but we got to go. B. Howe, on the way out, who will we be seeing in the Super Bowl matchup after Sunday?
Chiefs, Niners. Let's
Newbie, take your shot. Who's playing in the Super Bowl?
Give me the dogs. Bengals, 49ers. Just because I need it. I need the chaos. Dave.
All right. I'll go Chiefs. I want to go.
You don't want to, though. You don't want to go Chiefs. I know you don't.
Joe Burrow.
But you have to.
I so want to see Joe Burrow. I think it'd be great. I would love a rematch of the Niners and the Bengals.
Oh,
from back in the day. Do you remember how
the Kenny Anderson era?
It's the most watched Super Bowl of all time. San Francisco, Cincinnati.
Was that Kenny Anderson or was that Boomer?
No,
was that Boomer?
Yeah. Kenny Anderson didn't play no Super Bowl. What are you?
They were awful back then. Well,
no, they were good for a little while, and then the Steelers got good. The Browns were actually good, and the Houston Oilers, oh, by the way, were really good. We're still looking for that piece. Don't forget, anyone to get me that piece for that Houston Oiler hat that B. Howe got the Navy one. I'm looking for that baby blue one. Anybody, let me know. Reach out, find us. That's the conference championship show for the boys. He's Newbie Talks, Dan Alexander. He is Brad Howe. You can find him, Brad Howe 07 on the Twitter, and myself, Dave Sharapan, the Sportsbook Consigliere at SportsBK Consig on the Twitter. This has been 8 in the Box, a Cash Considerations production where we talk football, a little bit of hockey too. We'll see you guys next week.